This is Fire Emblem Radiant Dawn, and I'm your host Stephanie, and with me today is a special guest. This is Microsphere. We will be playing... New chapter? New game? Yeah, new game. Oh, wait. Shit, so let's go and delete a file. We will explain how this whole thing works.
Yeah, then Bob checked when the release dates or whatever. To be honest, I really don't care for it. All it is that it's a sequel to the previous game, Fire Emblem Path of Radiance.
And I believe that this game right here, Radiant Dawn, was created in 2009 or 2010, somewhere around there, guys. But anyways, we can have an easy or normal mode. I say easy.
Do whatever.
Okay, Microsphere's off to check the game date. We are not using an emulator. This is the actual deal. As you guys saw, if I leave the part in, it's for the Wii.
Yeah, it's for the Wii.
Yeah. And everyone, this is for the Wii. The first one is Path of Radiance, and it's for GameCube. It's $60, but I do recommend everybody to get that. I don't think it does.
No, I don't think so. Was it 2007 Nintendo Intelligent Systems? So I think it was released in 2007. Yeah, basically it was made by main developed and shit by Intelligent Systems, I guess, and published by Nintendo.
Yeah, that seems about right.
Yeah, they've also done the Advanced Wars series.
We're wasting our time.
I believe Path of Radiance and Radiant Dawn are the only two Fire Emblem games that actually had voice acting, for English. I could be wrong.
Who's there? Is it the Dawn Brigade? No, it was just a bird. Ha ha ha! Thought we didn't see you? Look, silver hair.
About the game, this character
If
here
it's
is
the fortune teller,
Micaiah,
we'll be
and
heroes.
we're going to see in a
Without
bit.
her, the
She's
Dawn
a part of
Brigade
this
never.
faction, day in called the Dawn Brigade. Basically,
My team.
Well, basically the gist is that this game takes place 3 years at the events of Path of Radiance. So stuff's happened, and Benion's taking over parts of the game and shit, whatever. And oh wait, here's So. Shouldn't mention that. So, yeah, so she's in quite a bit, and I was being a shut up weapon. By the way, you never get to do it in the game. You never even get to have him fight without a weapon, unless you're using him and thing.
False advertisement, guys. That's all it is in a nutshell.
Well, you never really get to have light magic blind people and stuff. Maybe if it becomes more of a game like League of Legends or something. But not here.
I remember evil. What was it? Evil healer.
Evil priest. Okay. Well, anyways, as I was saying, so then Ben a group knows Benyon occupation took that day in, except it's they're not really doing a good job and shit. So the Dawn Brigade was a group that was always problems and shit with bandits.
And here's what we have is a few of the members are going to be showing up for Micaiah, and everyone has their own backstory except for what's his name with Ike's younger sister's profile.
Yeah. Well, what she meant there is well, we explained quite a lot, especially since the what she's talking about isn't until later when you actually get to your base shit. So yeah, basically this cutscene is so you have Micaiah there, but we also have Edward, who when you're about to see after this scene where they're talking to these villagers who are talking about bandits.
The dialogue, basically.
Yeah, dialogue. Basically we see is that he's a Myrmidon, or whatever you pronounce it, sword fighter.
Micaiah's, of course, is a light mage. Oh no. There goes Yune. Yune's the bird, guys. Always remember that. No!
Oh yeah, should we also like describe the
Yeah, we will.
basically it's like an overhead turn-based strategy game. You move your units and you can have them like attack and shit.
Guys, remember with Micaiah, every mage should fight in a distance, not up close unless you're Soren. He says fuck the rules.
Mages well mages for the most part tend to have like good magic damage, so they can like hit like units that like damage units even if they have like high defenses. But as you can see from her 15 health, like they're not really durable, especially Micaiah. She's really like fragile, could probably die from like 1 or 2 shots.
Just, guys, get Micaiah to attack first so that she could get the experience points, and then just get Edward. What the fuck? Why did you take the hit? Why would you do that?
You explain like more of the things. If you notice, like next to the weapon things, like the bronze axe and iron sword icons, there's an up arrow and a down arrow. Basically here, there's a bunch of weapons, 3 of them being the sword, axe, and lance. And basically, there's a weapon triangle system going on there, where a sword has the edge against the axe. So the sword fighter will do 1 more damage and will have slightly better accuracy, while the axe user will do 1 less damage and have slightly worse accuracy. And the lance user beats the sword user, and the axe user beats the lance user.
Oh my god, Leonardo, there you are! What the fuck?
Myrmidon's supposed to have like they're supposed to be pretty quick and have a good skill for like. We need to like show the stat things, you know, the
right.
things. So basically, strength, as you can see there, will affect how much damage you deal with like weapons like swords and stuff. Magic's how much health you'll restore with a staff or something, or damage you'll deal with a tomb. Skill will affect how accurate you are in your chances for critical hits. Speed will affect how well you can dodge attacks and stuff, and your attack speed, which basically if it's 4 more than your opponent's, you can double them, so you do another attack. But your attack speed's also affected by the weapon you have's weight. So like if you like check the information for the weapon, I'm not really sure how you do it on here.
Yeah.
Just using the remote. We usually use the GameCube controller. So as you can see, the weight is like the weight's 8. So yeah, he doesn't lose any attack speed or anything from that. In fact, in some of the older ones, like it wasn't strength that turned how like well you can lift it. It was constitution. So some characters may have really bad constitution and may generally be slow with like their attacks and shit. Luck affects a lot of things. It slightly affects your accuracy and avoid rate. Evasiveness. Avoid is what they use to describe your chances of avoiding a critical, which luck also affects, but also affects your chances of avoiding attack. Defense affects how much damage you take from a physical weapon, and resistance affects how much damage you take from magical based attacks. And HP obviously is your like main thing. When you take damage, you lose that. Yeah, and when you lose it, your character dies.
Guys, we have a little bit of a game going on here. If we lose a unit, the other team gets a point. Micaiah's team is mine. Mike later on. Should we spoil it? Or
No.
You want to explain about stuff over here?
Well, I mentioned something like attacks. Like, okay, well, the attack up there is basically how much damage you do in total in combination with your strength stat, and how much damage it says it do with that weapon.
Okay.
Hit is your accuracy, which is combined with your skill, a bit of your luck, and the weapon's accuracy. Critical hit is some weapons have like boosted critical hit, right? And but mostly it's also affected by your skill. I know there's like I was determining like what it would be, but I'm not really sure. Range, it's like how like while your weapon's range is like so against 2 you can hit them like 2 spaces, because like he's an archer, so he can shoot from a bit of a distance, but he has no direct combat, so like if they fight right up to him, there's nothing he can do except stand around and take it like an idiot. Effect, basically later in the game we're gonna there's also like flying units like Pegasus Knights and stuff, and bows help against those. And also, if you notice the herb in Dracoshield, the herb is your health restoring item. It only restores 10 health, but you have like 10 of it, so that's pretty good. And the Dracoshield increases your defense by 2, or whoever uses it. So there's some like stat boosting items.
Alright, so yeah, you guys get the basics.
And obviously, and as you may have noticed, they do get XP and they level up based on like their growths. Like some have different ones. So like for example, like some characters, while they may be similar classes, like you may have like 2 Maraudons. One may have like maybe better strength, and another will have like better resistance. In fact, there's like a thing that tends to like go on like the classes have their cap limits. Both like males and female like classes. The male ones tend to have I believe a higher strength and defense cap, but the female ones have I believe a higher speed and resistance cap or something like that.
Okay, so I think that's good.
Oh, they also have their abilities like
Skills.
So for example, yeah, skill. So it's like because he's because Edward's a Myrmidon, which is basically like a
swordsman.
Yeah. He gets like extra critical hits because basically, as I meant for Myrmidons, basically rely on speed and skill for like critical hits and stuff to finish off their opponents quickly because they really don't have the defense for it. And Edward has Wrath, so when he has less than half health, he has a better chance of critical hits activating. That bar there, the blue thing, represents how many more skills he can learn. And that support thing, when you're standing by your allies, you can get like support. Yeah, okay, I think that's enough. I think they want to see some gameplay. Well, there's also like a thing showing like the weapon masteries and stuff. Oh, and the biorhythms. We're not like most characters have like actually there's like presets like biorhythms. Like, and basically what they do is based on like how high it is. I think it changes over the course of a couple of turns. But basically what it is I guess it's just like their mood or whatever. So when it's at the best, they can like they can dodge and hit with better accuracy. But when it's lower, they really can't. And I don't think they have anymore. But in Path of Radiance, like 2 characters, Boyd and Rice, they had like skills that were affected by biorhythm. You can go back to play now. I've seen the most part of it. But basically. They had like a skill like one, like Boyd had like one that doubled like the effects of the biorhythm, so if it was good he'd have like even better like accuracy and evasiveness, but obviously if it was at worse it'd be even worse. And Rice had the similar thing except it had the thing, so if he, yeah. And also, if you may have noticed in like the main thing when we're selecting new game, it said if we wanted to like, did it say if we want to like import Path of Radiance there?
Yeah.
Well, yeah, that's something you can do. Was like if you have like clear data from Path of Radiance, you can import that data into this one. And I believe it gives like some like the characters and stuff slightly better like stats and growth, as well as some extra dialogue. And I really don't know all the extra dialogue parts, but yeah, you also like and also if you play Path of Radiance, you may have like gotten a bunch of like coins. They really didn't do much in that game, but in Radiant Dawn they have a better purpose, and we'll see later. So yeah.
Okay, so I just want to explain this right now. If you use, let's say you have a healer in the team, the party, if you go and equip the staff, and if you don't, switch back to, the light books or tombs, whatever, Be prepared because they will use the staff to fight.
It's, well, yeah, well, actually, yeah, even though, like, we haven't gotten to a point where we can show that yet, and we're just
Not yet.
we're pretty much just extending a bunch of things and spilling a whole shitloads of stuff and whatnot. Yeah, it's like, a thing in this game where in Path of Radiance, when, like, you had, like, a priest or something who only used, like, a staff forever, and they got attacked fights, they couldn't do anything, really. In this one, they could fight back with, like, the staff, but the problem is, like, they have, like, really no, like, strength or whatever, so it wouldn't, so for the most part, it really wouldn't do a whole lot. And, like, it's kind of annoying when you, like, it's especially annoying if, you have, like, light tunes and stuff, because then, like, it equips it to the stats, so you get attacked, you won't be, like, hitting them with your light magic, which is kind of annoying. And also at the, and I think at the end, like, most maps, whatever, I think at the end of all of them, there's always, like, a boss character who usually just has, like, one line of dialogue. Well, actually, I think maybe, like, a couple. Sometimes they have it based on the character, so maybe it's, like, the character's, like, it's, like, the leader, whatever, or the essential one, like, Makai. Oh, also, yeah, it's another thing is that, that, like, there are, like objectives, so, like, for this one, you're just supposed to, like, I guess, route the enemies, or, like, just beat the boss, or, yeah, route enemies, sorry. If you, like, press start or whatever, it'll show, like, objectives, so, like, you're supposed to route the enemy, and it'll show, like, I guess, like, the leader or the boss, that one, and, like, basically, and, and usually, like, you have, like, essential character, Makai, whatever, and if they die, they lose. However, in its beginning part, if any of your characters die, you lose. I guess it's because, like, you really would be kind of in a fucked situation, because, you don't really, because I'm going to tell you, for, like, the most part here, we don't get a whole lot of characters.
Yeah, my team doesn't anyways.
You only get, like, a handful of characters, and they don't even, like, let you have them die.
Yeah, oh fuck, Eddie, you can't die, I don't give you permission.
It's not a matter of, like, oh, because, like, sometimes what some people do is, like, when they're, because, like, yeah, when your character's, sorry. When your character dies, they don't come back, except, like, some of the other games, like, and they're, like, I think in one of the other games they had, like, a staff that, like, can bring back a dead ally.
Oh wow, that was lag? God damn it, Makai, you can't even level up. What the fuck?
Oh wow.
Boom, let Eddie get the final blow.
Yeah, they also get, like, more battle animations. Like, in Path of Radiance, it was just a bit more simpler. And this one, like, they can knock them in the air and land them on, like, their back and stuff.
Oh, I believe we get, what's his name? Nolan?
Well, oh, and I should mention, you don't get to control, like, those little, like, sequences where, we're, like, fighting and hitting each other's swords and stuff. It's, automatic.
Okay, we have more dialogue. I don't consider this as a cutscene, really, because, cutscenes are when it's, like, animated, like, later on you'll see it.
Well, this is animated, look, they're, like...
Well, yeah, but I mean, like... You guys will see what I mean later.
And then there's, Jared, I think he's, like, the, leader of the Benyon Occupation Army.
It's Gerard, whatever's.
And as you're about to see, he's, also, by the way, if stuff's moving too fast, you can just pause it.
Yeah, you guys, be free to pause it, or, what I'll do is I'll probably link you guys to, cutscenes of this, or somewhere where you can read, like, the dialogue.
Yeah, they have, like, things like the game's, like, script, like all, like, the dialogue and stuff like this.
Oh, yeah.
This guy's kind of a prick. And basically,
Dare step into my lair?
Shut up. Anyways, so he's like, he's also a halberdier, which is basically like a second, okay. This is pretty messy, but whatever. So, like, I mentioned before that, like, that Edward's, like, a Myrmidon class, and there's basically classes. And, like, Makai's, like, a light mage, which is, like, a special class, because there's no other characters with that. and Leonardo's an archer, so they have like their own things. But like, Halberdio is like a second tier soldier, and the Path of Radiance and Radiant Dawn games. This is to be honest, I believe the only games where like soldiers, which are like the enemies with like the lances and the shields, are the only playable class. So like most of them, they're like an enemy exclusive class. Though most of the time they're just like a nameless, like easily killable fools. So yeah.
Guys, basically what happened here was it was the whole Soviet Union, Russia.
Okay,
The blues Russia,
I'm gonna
okay.
pretend that like people watching this like already like play. Yeah, I don't know.
I hope they played it. I really do hope.
Occupation forces have gathered all Dayan men of fighting age and put them to work in labor camps. Their work is brutal and void of purpose, designed to break both body and spirit. The remaining population faces poverty and starvation as the fields lie fallow. A band of young heroes has escaped the Benyan army to form a group called the Dawn Brigade. Fighting for a free Dayan, they alone have stood against Benyan's forces. They alone have shouldered the hopes of their nation. Among the company is a young girl named Micaiah, who is said to possess mystical powers. The people of Dayan have come to know her as the Silver-Haired Maiden. They have come to think of her as the savior for whom they had been waiting. Benyan's forces have tried time and again to capture and silence the Dawn Brigade. However, Micaiah's ability to sense impending danger has thus far allowed the Dawn Brigade to evade the